Good evening. I'm Ann Witherspoon with GEG Nortex, and we are live here tonight with Kimberly Lane, who is a Code.org ambassador and um, has her hand in quite a few fires. So we're going to go on ahead and get started with her. And Kim, if you'll go on ahead and start by just telling us a little bit about yourself.
Well, welcome everyone. I'm so glad that you were able to come on and be in the virtual world. My name is Kimberly Lane, and basically I am the Code.org affiliate for DFW. But I also am a blended learning specialist for Lancaster ISD. And basically, blended learning is basically blending both worlds, blending the traditional classroom with the technology world. So I've been doing that just for this year. So I've been working with Code.org ever since our affiliate program started. So I've trained over probably, I think, 800 teachers now.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yes, yes.
How do you go about getting that training?
Well, basically for the teachers to do the training, they would just email in or go to code.org, click on the professional development tab, and then they can click on the actual map and it will pop up population for Texas, and it'll tell you wherever the workshops are being held, and you
Okay.
click on it and register, and it's totally free. Everything is always free with code.org.
That's awesome. We actually cheated and got started today, and the kids went crazy over it.
I bet they did. Oh my goodness. I had a student ask me today, we have it on our website, and a student asked me, she said, "What is Hour of Code?" And I was like, yes, she's actually wanting to know. So I was excited about that.
Well, it was interesting too because the majority of the kids that showed up today were girls, and we've never had that before.
Wow. Wow. That is
Yeah.
awesome. That's what we want.
And one of the things that they were all excited about were some of the new options like the Minecraft option
Mhm.
and the JavaScript, learning JavaScript. They were really excited about that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The learning the new JavaScript in of course Elsa, it was last year, but then they have the Star Wars. I just saw another one that they're putting up. A tutorial should be up by now. They have a new tutorial, but it's not with a particular character that people are aware of. But it's just another hour of code tutorial that they're going to have on there.
So, yes, it seemed like they had quite a few options for just
Oh yeah.
about anybody.
Oh yes, oh yes. It's just whatever your level is, the student's level, you can find something on there. And even just not even code.org. Hour of Code is just their awareness of learning what computer science is, and just thinking about, what is computer science? What do I need to do? How do I get involved with computer science? Does it just involve computers? So that's what Hour of Code is really stands for, because technically it's Computer Science Week, but we took it over.
Yes, well, the kids really were having a blast with it today, and they kind of gravitated. They started out with some of the others, but they all pretty much wound up gravitating towards that Minecraft one, which kind of surprised me that the girls were even
Oh yeah, that's very surprising.
that.
Usually they do Elsa and Anna.
Right, and that's where they were all most of the girls started on the Elsa and Anna and wound up in the Minecraft one. Well, so if a teacher was interested in Hour of Code, where would they even start?
So they just need to go to www.hourofcode.com. They can type it in Google, search for it, and it will automatically pop up. And then there are several sections that are on there. It's like how to promote. And then the promotion side of it, there are brochures there that the teachers can print out. There is a sticker section where the teachers can print them out and basically print them out and give them to everybody they would like to. There's also little blurbs that they can send to if they want to do a community, leaders, mayors, the superintendent. They can send those out, and it's already pre-formulated for you. All you have to do is just insert the particular person's name.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's awesome. So how many years has the Hour of Code been going on?
It started in 2013.
Okay.
So that would be right at 3 years as of next week.
Okay. All
So
right.
it first started as just, hey, with this one video online that they put online, and they just wanted, at first it was like, okay, well, we want just students to learn about computer science. So we really think that students need to learn how to code because it carries characteristics like learning how to problem solve, learning how to collaborate with others. So it's just not computer programming on the computer. So it just started out with kind of an idea. I think like everything else starts,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it has blown up to this huge thing where not even just the United States, the students are using here, they're in Nigeria, you know, they're in India, they're everywhere, and they're thinking about the Hour of Code. So it's 3 years, but it's really been a lot within these 3 years.
Yes. I know that first year, that spring, I decided I went to an elementary campus one day a week, and some of the kindergarten teachers, and I said, hey, they're saying on this website that even kindergartners can do this.
Yeah.
And I asked for anybody to volunteer up their classroom for me to go in with some iPads, see what the kids could do. And they went through all 20 of those puzzles. And it was funny because by the end, you know, I'd kind of have to position myself to make sure that I was going the right, but they were just shouting out,
wow,
it needs to turn left or it needs to turn right. And
when those first came out, you know, at first it wasn't the arrows that were there, and they had to figure out which way to turn, and it has evolved. But it's just what you're saying. The students, they're kindergartners, but they're actually communicating with each other, trying to see which way they need to go to solve the game.
And that was kind of how I build that with their teachers was, hey, let's work on, we'll work on direction words. And so that's kind of where we started. And the very last day that I was in there, we were looking at the pictures that the teacher had taken that day. And I'm up at the board trying to help whoever. But by that point, there were just a handful of kids that were working with me. They were all kind of on their own and had taken it and just run with it.
And that's what they do. And it's really kind of self-directed. We want to make sure we explain to them why they're doing it, but they kind of actually get it after they're starting learning how, okay, this is problem solving. I have to figure this out. And so, of course, we as teachers have to make that connection, but it's just the point of it being self-directed at first.
Right, right. So if a teacher decided they wanted to take this on and they went to code.org, do you have some tips for management of the implementation of doing even just the Hour of Code? And
Sure, because we want to make sure first that we plan it out, because we're in our district, we're doing the Hour of Code, and it takes hours and hours of planning. So just making sure that we have the correct connectivity, that we have devices. If we're not going to use devices, the unplugged activities. So everything is on the Hour of Code, where it gives you step by step what you can do, starting off with number one, planning, seeing what the students are going to do, whether or not they're going to do the tutorials, or you're going to take them to Code Academy, or you're going to go to Scratch. There's so many different ones for the Hour of Code. And then next, we want to make sure we get the word out to understand about Hour of Code and what the purpose is. Because some, you know, people say, hey, what's an hour of code? Are we going to do this an hour forever? Or is this just this week? Or why is it just 1 hour? Or, you know, those types of questions we want to promote and get the word out on that. and then just basically, hey, put those kids on the train and let them go.
Yeah, yeah. So have you seen, what are some benefits that you've seen come out of the Hour of Code, or the impact that it's had so far?
Basically, the students thinking about what computer science is. And once, sometimes, when we do the Hour of Code, we always say, hey, if you look around the room, think about what computer science was involved with this particular technology. The computer that you're using, the app that you're using, someone had to code this. So just them thinking beyond the Hour of Code and saying, hey, what can I do with this? Why is this important? That's the biggest benefit I've seen. It's just basically them wondering. And it's good for a child to wonder what it is and ask questions.
Yeah. Don't you think, too, I think it's making computer science maybe a little more accessible.
Yes.
Kind of uncovering the mystery behind.
Yeah. And because when I was in school, I had taken several computer science classes because I taught computer programming, but I thought it was so hard because the concept is always, when we think of computer science, is math. And if they are not good in math, they say, hey, I'm not going to go route, the computer science route. I really don't know anything about math, or I really don't know anything about science. It's kind of boring. But then when Code.org came out with the Blocky method, and use those, in some of the leading universities to teach, computer science 101, I think it has really opened it up, like you say. Think, hey, I can do it. And that's why, Code.org, quote is anybody can learn, because technically you can. And it's changed, it's evolved, which is good. But I really think, like you're saying, that it has really, really changed the focus on what science is.
One of the things that impressed me was the girl that was talking about, because we do think of coders as being young males that are kind of holed up in a dark room all by themselves. And in one of the videos, they were talking about the collaboration that's involved, and the artistry of it. And part of that was why they were saying, there's a big push to get girls into it. Have you noticed anything about that, or what are the demographics that you see of students maybe in your district that are interested?
Well, our demographics are still, I think, sombering low. I think it's really kind of low with the male and female ratio. I think we still need to do more work with the girls, and studies have shown that if we tell our students, well, the girls basically, if it's going to help you, if it's going to help someone else, then they're more likely to get involved with it. I have seen in my district, the girls, they're interested in it, but then they're thinking, is this like fashion, or I can major in this right here, and I really don't want to be in a dark room because of what society has said what a computer scientist is. So I think we need to do a little bit more work. That's why when we do the workshops, we talk about gender equity, because gender equity is really, really big, because we want it to be equal in the science world, because it's really not technically a room that you're sitting in and it's a dark room that you're always in front of a computer and you're in a cubicle. That's not what computer science is. And, in the 1800s, there was a woman that was one of the first computer scientists, and then Grace Harper, was around. And so then it began to decline right when the internet boom came about. It declined. And so we want to make sure that we just get our students involved. I know Louisville ISG, they're doing a coding club that involves fashion. So they have a lot of girls that have been, their interest has, I think she said she has about 60, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
They have a lot of girls, and they just basically put the fashion with the coding and called it a fashion computer science club. So just, kind of tailoring it towards them.
Mm-hmm. Well, so when you do your trainings, what do your trainings look like, and what kinds of things do you cover in those trainings to prepare teachers, I guess, for coding, an hour of code?
We first do, for the hour of code, we just talk about how they can do the planning, they can do the promoting, making sure that their technical issues are out of the way, basically looking at it first before they're actually going to teach it to the other students, and then just letting the students go with their self-directed. But after the hour of code, because that's just getting them intrigued about computer science, after the hour of code, I go into where they're doing the code studio. And so that focuses on the computer science fundamentals. And so they go through 3 different courses, and they have a 4th course that is out, but it's on beta testing. But course 1 just talks about algorithms. It talks about programs. We need an algorithm in order to do computer science. So it takes them through that process of thinking, why do I need an algorithm? Why do I need a program? And then they take those concepts and they allow them to use them online. So they do an unplugged lesson first, and then they do an online lesson that kind of blends the 2. So if the students do an unplugged lessons, for instance, Happy Maps. Happy Maps is where the students learn how to do basically a human machine using directions. So they guide the particular other student on directional movement, but they're actually programming the student, but no computers are involved. So it allows the students to think about what they're doing, and then when they get online, then they understand why they're moving the Flappy Bird to the pig, or the Angry Bird to the pig, or however they get the bee to the honeycomb. They understand that concept first. So that's kind of the basis of the workshop, is to grasp the understanding of how you put the unplugged lessons, building that foundation first, and then allowing them to go online. Because the coding games are fun, but it's understanding that underlying concept first of what science is. And so that's what we go through. We just go through a various of the unplugged lessons, and then we do some online lessons. And then the teachers, they actually do a teacher learning observer model. And this is where they would get up and teach the other teachers how they would teach an unplugged lesson to a class. So it's kind of where the teachers are up, and then they're learning about how they would teach it. And so we use kind of like the binary bracelets. And so it's a binary numbers bracelets activity, building a foundation. And so that's the first step I always tell them, is allow the students to understand that sometimes you might not get it right the first time. So learning how to try and try again, and be very persistent about learning how to code. And so it's those different strategies that we teach on how to code. And then they get the aha moment of, okay, this is teaching the concept first, laying the foundation down, and then I'm going to the next steps. So that's kind of how the workshop, and it's usually about 6 hours, but it goes by really fast because it's super fun. It's not me talking in front. It's no sit and get. So there's a really a lot of interactivity that's there.
Yeah. I know last year at South by Southwest EDU, I went to this one session, and the whole session was just a series of those unplugged activities. And they were so much fun because you're up moving around. And we were dying laughing because people were getting sent in all different directions. But yeah, that really is a lot of fun. So how did you get to be an ambassador for code.org?
Well, when they first put the application out, someone sent me a link and said, hey, I think you would be good for this. And I said, okay, I've heard of the hour of code. I know what this is. Do I want to spend Saturdays teaching teachers how to code? So I looked at the application, and it seemed to be very fun. So I just basically applied, and I got chosen. So, I mean, we did a various of, answering essays, about our background. And that was just when it was starting out. So it was a group of us, and, we really didn't know what we were getting into. And we went to Vegas and did a 3-day training with code.org. And so then we were like, okay, we can do this. We can take this, train the trainer, and train the other teachers about it. So that's kind of how I got involved.
So, Kim, are you going to be at Region 10 this Friday? Did I hear something about that?
I am.
So what are you going to be doing there?
I'm going to do the Hour of Code, just how to plan it, how to promote it, looking at some of the activities with the Hour of Code, looking at other resources, helping the teachers understand it's about awareness of computer science, just getting their gears moving for the students on what computer science is, what they can do with computer science degree. And then we'll go through those course 1, course 2, and course 3 unplugged activities, and then they'll look at the online versions. We'll do a session where we talk about gender equity as well, almost at the end, and it's probably going to be about 6 hours. I think it's from 9 to 3.
Well, I know when my daughter first applied to college, she went to Florida State, and she got a computer engineer. And then when she and I went for that orientation during the summer, and she was like, I am not doing it. She had forgotten that she'd even put that down. And so she went, decided to do just communications. But we were laughing because she was like, okay, when they were taking all the different groups out to go meet with their advisors, and she said, now, when they call the computer science majors, I want you to see who gets up, because she'd been with them all morning. And there were there were 3 girls and then all these guys. And she was like, it just wasn't her people. But now, at 30, she wishes that she had stuck with that, because she has made comments, and she's always talking about, I've got a great idea for an app. And I mean, I think, and she was always loved math, but she just didn't want to be in that stereotypical group. And so I think that it's interesting that there is this push to break down those walls and really entice the young girls. I'm really glad to see that, because it is a lot of fun. And I was really shocked, like I say today, the girls that showed up for it, we just had like 2 or 3 boys. It was all girls. Wow. And so that's very different over the, from the first year that we did it. And then last year, I tried to do it with everybody on our campus, but that was way too big of a task.
It is huge. I've been planning a long time, and I'm just very nervous about Monday.
Yeah, well, and that was why this year our librarian kind of integrated it into her makerspace and wound up starting it this week, because the first year, like I say, I didn't wind up even bringing it up or starting any of it till like in January. And it wasn't till March that I discovered that if you registered your teams and you had basically more girls than boys, you got like $750 of donors choose money. And I totally missed all that, just because, our kids are getting ready for final exams. And so.
Right. And we just, you just didn't think about it. And now the prizes have gotten amazing.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, the kids can actually win a trip, to go and look at the studios at Star Wars. And, the teachers can win $10,000 of technology, and every teacher that signs up is going to get $10 of either Amazon or I think it's iTunes and Microsoft gift cards. I mean, it's amazing.
Well, was it last year when some of the kids got picked to do Google
Mhm.
Hangouts with some of the, we watched one, I can't remember who it was. Oh, it was Usher.
Oh, yes, yes, I remember that. Yes, yes.
Buddy.
Mansfield won as well. That was only Texas. They got to Skype with one of the models that has created an app, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we just got to get on and watch. We were just flies on the wall. But and I can't remember if that was last year. I'm sure it was last year.
Mhm.
If this would be the third year, and so we got to watch it, but we didn't get to ask any questions or any of that kind of stuff. But that was really kind of cool. The kids really liked that. Well, I don't really see any questions that have come in. Is there anything else in kind of wrapping up that you would like to put out there about the hour of code? I did post in our showcase links to the hour of code, links to your website, and so
And I do
uh,
have a lot of resources on there. Just basically, planning is the biggest issue. Getting some of our community volunteers. Looking on the Hour of Code website, also, you can search for volunteers to come in and speak with your students. I think sometimes if they see people, you know, that look like them, people that are actually in the environment that is basically doing it, they can believe that they can do it as well. So we're going to have speakers come, plan a pep rally, kind of get it, you know, involved, like, hey, you know, like they do a football game, you know, hey, let's do a pep rally of Hour of Code. And we're doing that,
yes.
you know. So just
Well, one person asked if you had any slides or resources to share, and I did post. Your website seemed to have, let me see, where was that?
and
Um,
I can put the link for the slide presentation that I have
okay,
go around and do. So I can put that on my website, or let's see, can you put, I don't know if we can.
yes. Let me see, where is that?
Let's see if
If you can post that, and then I'll send that out. And if you can post it in the chat here, and I'll post it below the video for everybody, so we can get that out to everybody, because it looks like your workshop at Region 10 is sold out.
Oh,
So those of us that just now are finding out about it can't even get in if we wanted to go.
sorry, it's been sold out a while too. It has
Oh,
been. I mean,
really?
it's sold out like this. The case is awesome.
That's awesome.
So she sent it out, so I'm pretty sure it came
That's
sold out
that's
because of
great.
her.
Well, that's great. Okay, well, we'll get the links to your resources.
Mhm.
And like I say, we've got a link. I posted a link to your website. We just finished up the first Digital Fluency Academy, and that was where I first saw your website.
Oh,
And the presenter kind of lost me for a little bit as I kind of poked around on your website, because it looked really good. There was lots of good information in there. But I do want to encourage our listeners out there to give Hour of Code a try. I think that it's fun, and you know, the kids are learning and they don't even realize.
that's
Uh,
the biggest
they just
thing.
think they're playing video games.
Exactly. That's the best thing. They don't even know that they're learning until
Yeah,
aha moment. And so, just like you were saying, when your students try today, and you can see the excitement in their eyes that they're actually coding, or they're actually doing this online, and it's not just like a game that's really, you know, not beneficial. They're actually
yeah,
learning something, even though they don't know that they are. But that's the biggest thing about our code and why it's so awesome.
yeah.
learn while they're having fun. And who doesn't want to learn while they're having fun?
Amen. Well, thank you so much for visiting with us tonight, and good luck on Friday. I'm a little jealous that I didn't get in on that action, but I sure do appreciate it, and we'll get those resources posted.
Yes, I will send those to you. Also,
Okay.
we will have free lunch at the workshop Friday too.
Man, I tell you. All right. Well, thank you so much, Kim. I really appreciate it. And
Yes,
have
have a
fun
good day.
next week.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.